Well, hello and welcome to the relaunch of my football YouTube series. I know that it's kind of crazy to be doing it this time of year. Here it is, March 23rd, and pretty much the whole world, as far as sports is concerned, is taking a break, has put the brakes on everything. Ironically, except for NFL free agency. We don't know what's going to happen with the season. We don't know what's going to happen with any sports season, but NFL free agents are being signed like crazy. And I'm sitting here watching all this going on, trying to figure out what teams' plans are, kind of looking at how this is going to all impact the draft. And unfortunately, I'm self-isolated because I've got a compromised immune system. My wife talks about sports with me, but she gets tired of me talking about it all the time. So I thought I'd get back on here, get this started again. If we're going to be talking about free agency, we cannot ignore the elephant in the room, so to speak, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, after 20 seasons, left the New England Patriots and signed a 2-year, $50 million contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Huge. Changed the whole complexion of the NFL, in my opinion. On top of that, you've got going on in Carolina. Yeah, I got my Carolina Panthers shirt on today. But in Carolina, you've got Teddy Bridgewater just signed to a 3-year deal. What does that mean for Cam Newton? Well, immediately he started looking for a trade. He's not going to get one. He's due $20 million this year. Nobody's going to pick that up. I think what's going to happen, the Panthers are going to release him. He's going to be signed by somebody else. And speaking about the Panthers, I get it. I get it. Matt Rule comes in. He's a new coach. He wants to do things his way. I'm really kind of confused on what he's doing, though. I mean, Trey Turner, all-pro guard, traded. Granted, we got a left tackle out of the deal, which was needed. But then they turn around and release Greg Olsen. And then they turn around and release, I believe it was Trey Boston, or maybe they signed him. But they released another one of their veteran defensive backs. I get wanting to retool the team. What I don't get is releasing solid veteran leadership. Greg Olsen, the argument that can be made for him, obviously, is injury issues. But you're not going to get anybody better than him. You're not going to get anybody to provide the leadership for him. And you've got to have leadership coming from somewhere. And that's looking at Gerald McCoy's gone. I mean, the changes they're making wholesale on that team, I hope it works out for them. And I'll be talking more about them. I'll do a episode about the Panthers in particular in a day or two. My other team is the Cleveland Browns. What the hell? I don't know what to say about what's going on in Cleveland. Once again, they cleaned the front office out. After one season, Kitchens is gone. They brought in, I don't even remember who it is now. He's going to implement his style. Baker Mayfield last year took a nosedive, which doesn't shock me. He's too immature. I think if he grows up, he can be a hell of a quarterback. The problem is he won't grow up. Now, let me phrase that. I don't think he'll be a hell of a quarterback. I think he can be a good quarterback. We saw that his rookie season. The potential is there. But we also saw defenses very quickly figure out if they put a lot of pressure on him, confuse his pre-snap reads, he's done. He doesn't know what to do. And that's what we saw last year. They did sign Jake Conklin, tackle from the Titans, which is going to be an upgrade on that offensive line. They also signed, I believe it was Hooper, the tight end out of Atlanta. I think they overpaid there, but we'll kind of see what goes on there. But once again, I'll kind of break this down a little bit more as we get. I'll do an episode on the Browns as well. Third team I follow is the Tennessee Titans. Marcus Mariota is on his way out, probably going to be released. I don't think they're going to get a trade partner. They just signed Ryan Tannehill to a huge contract. A lot of changes going on in that organization as well. So I'll do an episode about them. Free agency overall has been like a feeding frenzy. I cannot ignore this as well. I forgot to mention it with the Panthers. Bringing Teddy Bridgewater in, and I just saw today they signed P.J. Watts, I believe it is, out of the XFL, and traded Allen to the Washington Redskins. I got to get a little bit more. I think it was for a 5th-round pick. So, I mean, we're seeing some organizations massively retool. Jameis Winston, where's he going to go? I mean, there's so many questions coming out of some of these movements and what the impact is going to be on these teams. It's going to be really interesting to see how this works out. The draft, we'll talk about that a little bit more once we get a little bit closer. It looks like it's going to be done remote. But some of these signings that are going on, what impact is that going to have on the draft? I mean, you've got players being moved, contracts being signed, draft picks being traded, all these draft projections that are coming out. What's going to happen? I think it's going to be really kind of interesting to see how certain teams approach things. For a long time, we thought that Miami was going to tank to get the first draft pick. Well, we see how well that worked. It goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Still think Joe Burrow's going there. I haven't seen anything to change my mind about that. But once again, we'll be doing a draft special as we get closer. So here it is, nice and short. Start to my NFL podcast again. Found out my school is going to be closed or remote learning until at least May 15th. So I'm going to have some time to be doing these things. Folks, if you have questions, I'm not a pundit. I'm not an expert. I'm just a football fan that's been watching American football for over 40 years. Damn. Yeah, that long. I'm also an English football fan, if you haven't noticed in the back. But ask me a question, kind of give me your thoughts on this. This is where we get started again. Probably in a day or two, I'm going to be doing one on the Panthers, have a little bit of time to make some notes. This is just kind of off the cuff. But ask me questions, give me some feedback. What do y'all think? I'm not going to do the hit the subscribe and all that. Y'all know what to do. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, I'm sorry. This is just a way for me to interact with people. My wife's getting kind of tired of hearing me yell at the screen. So anyway, y'all be safe. Stay at home, folks. A little serious here. Stay at home. If you got to work, I get it. You got to work. But if you can stay at home, stay at home. The parties will be there. The friends will be there. The dinner will be there. You know, all of that stuff will be there. But let's get through this together, because that's the only way it's going to work. So, y'all take care, and I will catch you on the flip side.